Dude, I'm doing jumping jacks here. Look at that. He's laying right there dead.
So we're in Eastern Virginia. We are almost there. We left this morning real early so we could get out here about noon. We're gonna get all the trailer and stuff set up, and then I'm gonna take off and do a little bit of speed scouting. And yeah, after I do a little bit of speed scouting, I've already got the place I know I'm probably gonna go this evening, because it's just a good bow spot. And then from there, we're gonna go scout some spots, or all the spots that I know of that are good, and then we'll go from there and see what happens, see if there's any acorns, or hoping that there's more acorns than there is back home. But back home, there's no leaves on the trees, and out here, I mean, like, the leaves are still kind of green. We're gonna get up in here and get the trailer put together, get it up and running. We're pretty much there, and then we're going to. Then I'm going to speed scout, and then I'll be in a tree this evening.
Isn't that a pretty good sign? Right off the bat. Doing the hard work now. It's like 75 degrees. It's absolutely sucky out here. But since it's bad weather to hunt, I'm going to use as an excuse to go scout a bunch. And I run up through here checking historic, like, good spots, and found some rubs and some acorns. Acorns are really spotty. Found some rubs, some acorns, and then I come down, and they just clear cut this a couple years ago, and now it's like a perfect pine thicket for deer to bed in. Not too high, not too thick, but it creates a transition area along this creek, and there's a pretty decent, you know, bigger rub than I've seen so far right here up against the creek. So I'm gonna keep edging this down and running this transition line and see if we can't find any more sign. Well, I'm on my second little scouting loop here, and this one I go up this creek. There's a big ridge up here that's got a bunch of oak trees on it, and when they're dropping, and the last time the oaks were scattered, this ridge up here had a bunch of acorns on it, and me and Dad sat it, and we seen 3 bear, a turkey, and a big buck, and we killed a big buck. So right here is actually where I killed my first deer out here. It was a 4-pointer. I killed it in one of these trees right over there somewhere, and then there's a rub right here in front of me. So I just got my way up through here and got to where I know the deer start to come through here. I was gonna take my time looking for rubs and then go up, check this ridge, and then circle all the way back and around out this other creek bottom that I seen a bunch of good sign in last year. So hopefully, fingers crossed, this ridge up here is dropping, these oaks are dropping acorns.
Well, it's the next morning. I'm going up here to the place I scouted yesterday. I seen a deer here last year. I seen 2 deer and 2 coyotes here last year whenever I hunted it with a bow. And right on the same path that I seen one of the deer come across the creek and go up the ridge, there's 2 rubs right there. So the deer are using that trail. So I think I'm gonna go sit there and see if I can't connect.
Well, as you can see, yesterday I was in a short sleeve t-shirt. Today I am in a coat. We had a 30-degree temperature drop. It's like 40 something right now. It's supposed to get even colder, and then tomorrow morning it's supposed to be down in the 30s. So it's a little bit windy this morning, overcast. I seen one deer, but I don't know if I got any footage of it. I was watching some squirrels, and it went trotting around, and it come up behind me, but I don't know if I ever got any footage of it. Little deer, probably a doe or spike. but the temperature's supposed to continue dropping. I was gonna sit till about like 11:30, but with this, with the conditions being like it is, there's some fields, and if there's no acorns, they might be coming out to them fields, because if they let the grass grow up, there's probably a lot of browse in them fields. So I'm probably gonna get down here in about 30 minutes. If I don't see anything else, I'm gonna jot down, take off over there, and with this wind the way it is, I might be able to sneak up on one, and hopefully that's where I can find some sign good enough to sit up on tomorrow, and maybe this evening. But I got a spot picked out for this evening. But it just depends on how fresh sign is and stuff like that, and then I might be able to slip up on one, and with this wind around them fields, and be able to stock up on it. Other than that, if I don't see anything for another 10 minutes, or another 30 minutes, well, 20 minutes now, if it gets to about 10 and I don't see anything else, I'm gonna jot down and see if I can't go and do some scouting, or maybe slip up on one.
So you'd think after finding all that sign the first day, and seeing 2 deer, one in the morning, one in the evening on the very first day I was hunting, that the rest of the trip would be pretty good. However, that wasn't the case. For the rest of that week bow hunting, I'd never seen another deer. Didn't see much sign, there was no new fresh sign when I revisited spots, and I hunted every good spot that I knew that I've seen deer in the past. However, my luck would change the morning it was time to bring out the old smoke pole. Today marks the day of opening the muzzleloader, so I'm gonna get the muzzleloader out and be taking it. I hate that I didn't get to shoot one with a bow, but I've only got how many ever days to kill one, so that means maybe 4 days, 5 days to kill one. So gotta extend some range and get all the best of my abilities here, because we haven't seen many deer. So we're gonna hopefully kill one this morning. We're going to a spot where me and Dad seen a buck opening day every single year, and Dad even killed a nice one here last year. So yeah, I guess let's ride.
You've got to be freaking kidding me. You've got to be kidding me. I hope I got that on camera. I probably got that on the GoPro behind me. He walked under me. Dang it.
Oh, if I only had my bow, man.
Dude, I'm doing jumping jacks here. Look at that. He's laying right there dead.
Right down the road, man. You gotta be kidding me. God, I had the scope on 5. I couldn't friggin' see him because the camera wouldn't focus. It's still dark out here a little bit and I couldn't get the camera focused. It's hard to miss them when they're that close. Oh. You've got to be kidding me. Every single year we've seen a buck here, opening day, and it just doesn't stop. Right at daylight too. I hope you can see it in the camera. Smoke probably covered it, but whatever. I think he's a little buck, but I really don't care. Let me message my buddy back. I literally just messaged him like, there ain't no acorns out here. I'm just gonna sit there and I just shot one. Ain't that something? Every year in a row, I shot him 5 foot underneath me. I could have dropped a gun on top of his head. Well, if you're just tuning into the channel, one thing you must learn is I'm not picky at all. Especially after the week that I just had, I'm not picky at all. But anyway, I'll take some time because I've got plenty of time to sit here and wait for Dad to shoot one. So, I'm going to take some time and explain how this works because for the last 7 years I've seen a deer here opening day every single year. And the best thing to do, or the reason this works, because this year there's no acorns, right? No reason for the deer to move through here. But there's a big, thick pine thicket, like short, thick pines right here to my right. Up here to my left is a big, tall pine thicket. Last year, gosh, these friggin' hot hands in my pocket are burning a hole through my leg. They just clear cut this pine thicket behind us last year, and in a couple years it's gonna be a real short, thick pine thicket. So it's gonna get even better in here. Anyways, so pine thicket, big pine thicket this way, short pine thicket this way, clear cut this way, hardwoods right here where we're at. And you park up here on the side of the pine thicket, walk down. Then there's this old logging road that comes through here, the state forest road. I guess it's still used or whatever. But they use it and they come down through. Then there's another pine thicket down at the end of the road. It doesn't go very far down through here. You know, I'm only 200 yards from the truck. But it doesn't go very far down through here. And down that way where my dad sits is another pine thicket. So there's pine thicket all out here in front of us. The road's about 200 yards straight this way. And out here, there's another road that's private, that's not state forest back this way. Back towards where the trailer we stay at goes back behind the trailer we stay at. And they go down in there and open a day of muzzleloader, and there's a bunch of people that always go, and they go down in there and they kind of bump deer around. And then, especially, they go in there the day before and scout it most of the time, which pushes a lot of deer into these 2 pine thickets right here above me. So they go in there and scout that, bump deer in these pine thickets. Then they go down here at the bottom of the road and down low and scout the swamp down here, and they bump deer up in this pine thicket up below right there where my dad sits. So a lot of people out here, it's dog culture, and they don't hunt a lot during the mornings. Like, they don't come in here and get set up like me and Dad and them do. Like, they don't, most of the time they're not going to do that. They'll show up about 30 minutes to an hour after daylight. They might go walk around the woods or something like that. But most of the time they're typically waiting for dog running season to open, so they can get dogs in there and push these big bucks out of these pine thickets. But there's going to be some people that are hunting. So they go in there and they scout, they push these deer in these pine thickets. Then they go in there this morning and they push the deer out of these pine thickets. And for the last 7 years, they've pushed a deer past me, or a deer's been traveling past me. And most of the time, it's always like one of the first years we were here, I had a little basket rack 8-pointer come up under me, and it was because they were riding this road out here in front of me and run the deer out of this little short pine thicket, and he come right underneath me. That year I didn't shoot him and ended up killing a bigger buck, but that year we were seeing deer, so I was a little bit pickier. But this year, after seeing, how everything went last week, there's gonna be no prisoners. I wanted to get more into explaining how things work whenever I kill a deer, so people can use that to their advantage. But anyway, I'm gonna sit around and wait for Dad to shoot one. I think the GoPro should have got that. He come walking down this trail, and I couldn't see. I thought he was just crossing the road, but then I seen him coming down the road. He had to either walk past the truck or he come out of the pine thicket and started coming down the road. And he just backtracked us all the way up through here. And he got right here in front of me, cut off the road. And he walked in here behind me. But as he was walking down the road, I had the scope on 5 power, and I seen it was a buck. And I was struggling getting the camera to focus because it was too dark. I couldn't really get the camera to focus. And finally I got it to focus, or I switched it to manual focus, and my finger was jammed down on that button on my remote trying to get that thing to focus. And he turned and started walking up under me, and finally I got the focus on and pulled the trigger, and he run and hit this tree right here. The GoPro should have it. The smoke probably covered it up, but the GoPro had the deer sitting up under it. Is the cool thing. But anyway, I'm gonna sit back and relax. Hopefully Dad will shoot one.
Piece of wood or hard or something.
And then he turned back around and went over. Yeah, it come out. Oh crap.
Right in his heart.
Yeah, it broke that leg, didn't it? That's a big bodied deer for out here to only be a spike.
Oh
yeah. Right there. He didn't go very far.
About 10 feet.
Yeah. Oh man. Big spike. Oh.
Yeah.
That's a big buck. Big bodied buck. Than we normally kill here. And it's only fresh. Must have shot him lower than I think.
Come out, he's hard, I know.
Oh yeah.
Like the top of the shoulder.
He didn't make it very long. He went and hit that tree, rolled back, and he was done.
Blew his heart out.
Oh my goodness.
You won't be able to eat the heart on that one.
I know. I can't believe I hit him as good as I did, to be quite honest with you, because as soon as you can hear me, I'm not even looking in the scope and I'm going, man, I go, boom. As soon as my eye goes through the scope, I pull the trigger. But at 5 yards, it's kind of hard to But that scope was on 5 because I didn't have time to turn it down where he was getting ready to get through my lane and stuff. So I didn't have time to turn it down, and all I seen was like all the scope could see was like that. I'm like, what's his shoulder? I guess now we could get him out of here.
Well, you'd think with 2 people in 5 days we'd see another deer. However, that wasn't the case either. Had a few close calls with deer walking by me just out of range, but never got to see them, never got to connect again. Never got any more footage, and I have one clip that really sums up the rest of this trip. Well, I'm not very picky when it comes to shooting deer because I'd rather be eating fresh backstrap out of a pan than be eating a tag. So now we're back home in the mountains of Virginia. I'm going to be bow hunting some through this muzzleloader season, so hopefully I can get one, and as soon as this video goes up, I'll probably be taking my bow out and trying to get a deer. Y'all stay tuned for that. Thank you for watching. Thank the Lord for a beautiful day and a beautiful trip. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Y'all keep feeling the spirit.